Hey, Randy.
Hey, Mike.
Did that use any less of your minutes?
No, it did not actually use the same amount, so that was a miss.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm going to need some more phone cards in that case, so I'll have to talk to Trish or somebody about that.
Well, yeah, I'll be able to send you some more soon too. So you will be getting some more from me. You got the ones I sent you before, right?
I sure did, yes.
Okay, awesome. So, did you want to? I know you kind of got cut off. You were in the middle of saying something. Did you want to finish what you were saying, and then I'll continue asking?
I don't remember what it was. You want to start with some more questions?
Sure. Sure, definitely. So, so the fact that they're saying that you changed the numbers, when I know that from my talk with your cousin, it's all going to be disproved. What they're saying, and you know, one thing that I would strongly recommend is as soon as you guys feel comfortable, I think going public with what you have will probably it'll make things a lot more clear and evident. It'll catch them in a bold-faced lie.
Yes.
So I think that that's going to be somewhat important to you. Now I also know I've heard that you're having a lot of infiltrators coming around in the different groups, as far as different people showing up in the jail, different people contacting your family, saying that they want to help, or that they're trying to, that they're friends, but they have malintentions. So what are you finding from all of that?
Yeah, it seems to be people showing up out of the blue that want to help in some sort of way, a big way. Maybe it's interesting that they know something's going on, but they're fishing for information. I can tell. I get a lot of that. People, evidently this is a big deal. So much that it's talked about. I know for me here in this jail, there's been a lot of mail come in, and because of that, there's a lot of conversation going on about me, and people want to find out what's really the situation here, and so it's causing a lot of questions, and people want to get involved and find out more. One thing that when they automatically start talking about money, it turns me off, because I want people to understand more than anything. Even though I pulled a lot of money out, it's not about the money. It's about proving that these accounts are what we say they are.
Exactly.
The money will come. It's just that that's not what it's about at this current time.
Well, the money is dead.
People have. Yeah, the money's there. Money's never not going anywhere.
Well, it's the money. The money's dead. It has no true value.
Exactly. We are the value. That's what people fail to understand.
Right.
And that's what I keep telling people. That's what these prison systems have become, the Fort Knoxes of the money. They're packing people in these prisons and jails like sardines, 3 and 4 to a 2-man room, and even more. I mean, if you understand what's really going on here, if people could just learn a little bit about that, and the charges people are being charged with, it's amazing what people are in jail for. Things that we would think were trivial that are made into big deals.
Definitely, I definitely agree. Yeah, that's a big part of this, and that's where a lot of the setbacks come from in this whole movement is that people are so focused on the money that they fail to remember that the money is nothing but debt. Every single dollar that is pulled, it's debt. There is no value. The true value is in our signature. The true value is in us. The true value is, the gold and silver that was stolen. That had value. These paper notes, they're basically toilet paper. What we need to do is wake people up and basically take back our country from these corrupt criminal banking cartels and these families that infiltrated us 100 years ago.
Another point, Mike, I want to bring up real quick is that, some of us who've been studying this for a while, we understand that this goes back to what's called the I pronounce it Sestake Trust. Some people call it Sedeke. I'm not sure how the real pronunciation is, but I know that, when people start going and researching some stuff and finding this trust to be what it is, it makes perfect sense what they're doing. And I guess in this case, what I'm getting at is they're calling it a scam. Well, they're the ones that perpetrated the scam to begin with. And they're trying to pin it on us that we're the ones coming up with a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme is what it is. The greatest Ponzi scheme of all times. But we didn't do it. We, the people, did not do it. We are the Ponzi scheme.
Right. Definitely. And actually, go ahead.
That's what we're set out to expose here.
Right. And that's certainly the case. And there's something else that came up. So there's been a lot of people doing digging on different aspects. There's a Parker Still from Knoxville, Tennessee, which, as you know, Parker Still is the supposed agent that was handling all of this. Well, some people found a death certificate for this Parker Still, age 39.
Uh-huh.
So it seems like there's some really, really strange goings on regarding.
I was told when I was first arrested that there was an investigation being conducted at that time that these guys were Blackwater agents. They weren't physically FBI agents. They were hired Blackwater agents posing as FBI agents. So I don't know the validity of that statement, but that's what I was told. Why they would need to do that is beyond me, other than just that they can control the case that way. Would make sense. Another aspect of the whole thing is they keep trying to pin this sovereign citizen thing on me, and I've explicitly denied any involvement with the sovereign citizen movement. We are all sovereign beings. We need to understand what sovereign means.
Yep.
If people would, understand a sovereign citizen is basically it's null and void because you can't be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time. You understand those are two different types of people.
Right. That's a trap. That was a honey trap.
What?
That whole thing was a honey trap. That was basically, and that's why you see all of a sudden now they're considered terrorists, domestic terrorists, because that was a honey trap to get to basically funnel all the people that had dissent towards the government into that honey pot, that honey trap. That way they could then label them as terrorists and go after them.
Yes, exactly. It was created by J. Edgar Hoover back in the 50s. It's my understanding, and this was,
probably tied to the CIA and the NSA as well.
Do what?
In that case, it's more than likely tied to the CIA and the NSA.
Exactly, and yeah. So, but they're trying. That's kind of like a big umbrella they use to put stuff under that they don't know where to label it or how to classify it.
Definitely.
That's the way I feel about it. But they've been trying to pin that movement on me for years now, and it's, it doesn't matter if I get a traffic ticket, they want to accuse me of being a sovereign citizen. And I don't understand where that came from originally, but I have to let them know every time, no. It's my understanding that they have at one point had orders to kill me. It was that serious.
It's funny that you're saying that because with how much attention and noise that I've personally made, as you know, there's a lot of trolls on YouTube, and there's different troll channels, and after some of our talks, there was one troll channel in particular that started putting out videos labeling me as a sovereign and labeling you as a sovereign, and I've been very clear from the get-go, I'm not a sovereign citizen. I am just a natural man, and it's gone into overdrive, the amount of and people don't understand just how dangerous giving people labels that they have not themselves accepted, or
Yeah,
you're putting people in serious harm and jeopardy by doing that.
exactly. And and I have said many times, I am simply a living man. That's what I come in peace. I never have claimed the sovereign citizen status
Right.
or any other citizen status as far as that goes. But I am a living man, and I come in peace is all I've ever stood for.
And that's why the
And that's a
UCC
flesh and
paperwork.
blood.
That's why that
Do
UCC
what?
paperwork and a lot of those
Yes.
other forms are so dangerous, because those are looked at as tools to become sovereign citizens.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And maybe certain groups have used certain things in order to, expand that for themselves. But, I certainly do not fall into that category. Never have.
Definitely.
I guess if any category I fit in would be a truth seeker. I mean, that's the only thing I resonate with at this point that I would call a group.
That's it, brother. That's what I am as well. I'm a truther, diehard truther. So now have you? Is there anything else that, as far as at the jail level, that you feel is vital information that people know regarding what you've been dealing with? Has anybody threatened you, or
Yeah, there's, of course, I don't know. I've never been. I don't have the criminal mindset of a lot of these guys do. I'm in here with drug dealers and thieves, and these are people too. I'm not discrediting these people, but sometimes I can't tell if the attitude's coming from the life that they are used to living. But I do get a lot of threats. People wanting to break my jaw and for just over nothing. Sometimes it seems like, but yeah, I do get a lot of bodily harm threats. It's constantly. I think as people are catching on to what's going on, I'm starting to get some protection from some guys who understand what I'm really in here for, and that this is not a normal life for me. Some of these guys, they've never known anything else. So, it's kind of like me moving into a neighborhood where, people have lived all their life and I don't know anyone.
now?
But, yeah, there's been a lot of threats.
Now, have you also had any kind of threats when it comes to the corrections officers, any of them, or any government officials in any way?
Not since I've been in. Well, in this facility I'm in now, no. It's obvious that these guys they separate themselves from the inmates for one. We rarely ever see them except for shift change or head count or whatever you call it, or a situation where they have to be involved with us in order to go to court or whatever. But there's been some interesting situations where just like going to court, where there's been some comments made about things that I didn't understand how they had gotten to certain officers, making comments about my situation. Like, how did you even know that, or why would you even know that, or why is it any of your business? First of all, so there's a lot of interest, I think there's a lot of talk going around, and it's hard to figure out where the source is sometimes.
Definitely. We got 60 seconds again.
And this is the last full phone card I have for today. So.
Okay, not a problem. So, is there any closing statements you want to make? Obviously, we'll continue.
I just want to say how much I appreciate everyone who is helping out in this situation. Spread the word. That's the main thing right now. And just realize you're a part of this. Whoever you are, whoever's listening to this, you're a part of this. We're all a part of this. This doesn't exclude anyone. And that, to me, is the most important thing to get out right now.
And
we're all included.
That's very much true. And is there anything that you need from any of us out here? Is there any assistance that you need? Is there anything you need in there?
Yes, I do need financial help. I mean, they've stripped me of everything, and I mean literally everything. So, you know, anybody can help out if you can. Your time has expired. This call may have been monitored or recorded.
Okay, guys. So as you heard, we've got a good amount more information here from Randall. He's being railroaded. You know, they're trying to basically keep him from being able to work on his case every chance that they can. He's going through some really hard times in there, but as he's doing that, he's staying strong and keeping his head up and trying to continue on the proper path, if you will, and trying to do, you know, the right thing every chance that he can. Randy, you know, as you heard, I tried to get this second phone line because it was supposed to make it easier for him with his phone cards. Basically, the phone cards, they're supposed to give you 20 minutes. He only gets 15 minutes out of each one. And unfortunately, this Louisiana number didn't help with that. We were hoping it was going to get him more time. Oh, he's calling back.
Oh, you have a prepaid card.
Hey, Randy.
Hi.
There you are.
Hey, I found a card that had $1.30 on it, so I figured I'd finish up right quick with you.
Definitely. Go ahead.
Yeah, what you're asking me, we do need some financial help because I'm looking at trying to bond out and I need a place to stay. I've been evicted from my home even though the rent was paid. You know, I can't wait to get out and really share a lot more of what's going on. I'm really afraid to share a lot being in jail because of the control they do have over me. But if people could send some cards, you know, they can only let me have plain cardstock postcards with no pictures on it. But I love encouraging messages from everyone all over the country. It's amazing. The cards I'm getting, you know, all over the country is amazing. But just keep those coming and, you know, help out however you can, even if it's just a positive thought in our direction. That's all we need. But let's all do this together. This is a we thing, not a me thing.
Definitely, Randall. That's awesome, man. And you know, so for everybody that can hear that, you know, he's saying he does need some help. But if anything, just the positive thoughts, the positive messages definitely help. And you know what, Randy, I'm gonna be adding some more phone cards to your account soon. I know that it gets tough because even when I send them, it seems like it takes a couple days for you to get them.
Yes. Yeah, the system is very slow on us receiving anything. I still have some phone cards that haven't been posted to my account yet over almost a 2 weeks period of time. So, you know, I think they're even getting into that system to where they're controlling stuff. So, you know, they're making it hard everywhere they can, and it's obvious. And I've told people, I know from conversations I've had on the phone, things have been changed, or you know, different things have happened because of conversations on these phones. But that's the only way I have to communicate with the world is through these phones.
Right, and being able to get this stuff out is so very important to your case and to everyone's safety. You know, it's instead of everybody just focusing on how to access the accounts 24/7, to take the time and spread the truth that's coming from all this, I think is so much more important in waking people up, because that's how we're going to access those accounts.
Exactly, and it's what it's really about. It's like I said before, it's not about the money. It's about the fraud that we've been handed all these years.
Right.
People need to wake up to. Forget about the money right now. There's a bigger subject at hand the money will come at its appointed time. But right now, there's so much more to this than just the money.
It's our freedom. It's not even our freedom.
It's
our children's freedom and our grandchildren's freedom and their grandchildren's freedom, because it's only going to get worse as time goes on. Right, and it's only going to get worse as time goes on. We've seen that in the last 50 years alone. Look at the rights that have been stripped from us. Look at how much control they've taken. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And if we don't do something now, it's basically do or die time. That's where we're at.
And I'll keep telling people this, but it's interesting. But the ones who oppress us are even slaves of the system themselves, and they don't even realize it. These people with badges on, they're much as a part of this as anybody, but they're blind to it because they're part of the corporate statutes and structure.
Definitely.
They feel like they're protecting something grand, and they're only adding to the misery of this whole of humanity.
I'll tell you what, Randy, you would be absolutely astonished at how much negative feedback I get, because basically the brand of my channel, I have the wartime flag upside down, which for anybody that actually
60 seconds. Hello?
Yep. For anybody that knows flag signals and all that, that's not a disrespectful thing. That's stating that the country is in peril. It's actually a military signal, and it's very respectful. But you would be amazed at the hate that I get for that, and it's kind of sad to see. I know that you're about to run out of time again, so did you want to finish up with any couple things?
No, I'm good, and I really appreciate you doing this, Mike. It means a lot to me that somebody's willing to help spread the truth here, the real truth. That means a lot.
It means a lot that you're allowing me to be your voice. That means a lot to me as well, Randy. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, buddy.
You keep your head up in there, stay safe, and know that you've got a lot of people out here supporting you. We all love you.
All right, I'll look for some more phone cards and be talking to you soon.
Sounds good, brother.
Your time has expired. This call may have been monitored or recorded.
Okay, guys, so in the finishing talks here, as you guys heard, Randall, he just like what's been kind of going on a little bit with me, and how people have attempted to put me into groups or categories. Randall has been the same. From talks with his cousin, I found out that Randall doesn't even, he just said it himself, he doesn't belong to any group per se. He does not really have any group affiliations, other than he was just friends with some of these different individuals. He just classifies himself as a truther. For those that don't know, because I didn't know this until today, that Randall, he actually was on a bunch of different radio shows talking about some of these different things, and that's where all of his story kind of began, before all of these different charges that he was ended up having. And that's how he kind of met up with some of OPPT. Now, with that, he is friends with a lot of like Heather and them, but Randall is himself, just as Heather is herself, and I'm myself, and Harvey's himself, and everybody else. They all have their own role to play, and they're trying to do what they feel is right and to the best of their ability, in their own ways. Now, Randall is struggling, as I'm sure you guys can understand. He's been in there for going on 2 months now, and he was evicted from his apartment, even though his rent was paid. His cousin ended up having to move his whole apartment practically by herself. he's had basically roadblocks and detours everywhere he's gone trying to get through all of this, and they're making it as difficult as possible. Now, he does deal with some pretty depressing and anxiety-riddled things in there, as I'm sure you guys can imagine, to the point that he was recently moved from the cell he was originally at, because the person he was housed with kept getting violent with him. So, as Randy said, if, for those that were looking to help Randall with phone cards or a commissary or whatever, I'm going to leave the information in the description box. But if you can't do anything like that, just sending a kind word on a postcard or a letter, that can make the difference between a bad day and a good day for him in there. And that kind of, just the way he said that and explained that shows who Randall is and what he's after. He's not here asking people to make him rich while he's in jail. He's asking people to support him with kind words, something to read, you know, to let him know that people are thinking about him or care about him, and that shows his true character. And just in the fact that he said that that's the most important thing to him in there. So for those of you that can, I'm going to put his contact details in the description box so that you can send him either a postcard or a letter. And for those that wanted to help, so that he can continue to give interviews on the phone or help out in other ways, I'll put the information for that as well in the description box. Randy's being very brave by speaking out even though he's still in there, and instead of people trying to say negative things, why not remember that everybody is a human being. Everybody is has their own personality, and we all have feelings, and we all go through things. And he's not out here telling people to do anything. He's just trying to share the truth, and basically he wants to fight for freedom. And as far as I'm concerned, that's exactly what this movement is about, and that's exactly what we're all standing here coming together and fighting for. I think that needs to be remembered, because I know that with so much information and so much confusion in this movement at times, that people start looking at things in a different light, and they get confused, and then they start to look for they get kind of paranoid. Well, we need to stop being, we need to remain vigilant, definitely, but at the same time, we have to stop looking at people that are not telling anybody to do anything wrong or telling people to do anything. They're just trying to share a message and share the truth. And we need to start really looking at ourselves and trying to understand where these people are coming from. And then look at the people that are shedding this negative messages, and really try to understand where they're coming from, and discern the truth. Because from what I've seen, there really is no reason for anybody to be attacking each other. And we need to remember this. We're all in this together, whether we like one another or not. We need to respect one another and think of each other's feelings, and think, if we were in that position, what would we want people to do? Would we want people to sit there and try to publicly humiliate us? Would we want people to forget about us? Would we? Because that's a very real possibility, and it can happen at any time. And we only have, this life. We don't know what tomorrow can bring, and we need to not forget what's important. What's important is the truth. What's important is being kind and loving and caring to one another, and doing right by one another, not doing harm or wrong to one another. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't gain anything. Randall is a Christian. His father was a preacher, or is a preacher, I should say. And he's trying to do right by what he feels, based off of what he thinks God would want him to do. And he's not asking people to do anything wrong. He's not telling people to file anything. He's not telling people anything except for his message. So I want to leave you guys with that. There's a lot of really good information in all of the talks that we have with him. And I didn't know Randall or Heather or anybody before all of this, but I think from just my few talks with Randall, he's definitely got a good heart, and he's overall a decent guy. So anybody that can send him, a letter, please do that. Let him know that we're here to support him, and hopefully he'll be getting out shortly. He has to deal with that South Carolina issue, and then hopefully he can get ROR'd. And there's going to be more calls to come. So thank you, Randall, for allowing me to get your message out and speaking with me. It means a lot that you give me that trust, and allow me to be your voice. And to any of the news outlets, I know that there are some that see this, and to any of the radio shows, I know some of them see this. If you would like some more information so that you guys can try to bring some attention to what's been going on with him, reach out to me, and I will in turn reach out to his family and him. I'm going to be trying to get a live stream established with Randall as long as he's okay with it, which obviously he only gets 15-minute increments. So he will have to kind of call in, and then when his time runs out, recall in. But I'm going to try to see if I can set that up so you guys can ask him questions, and give him support and give him your messages live. If you guys like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, do so now. Most importantly, share this information. Get this out everywhere. This is important. Leave me your thoughts in the comments section below, and much love to you guys. God bless you. Thanks, guys.